All right, Jeff Zimmerman here with the legend, one of the best to ever do it. It's always a pleasure to have him on. Roy Jones Jr. How you doing, Roy?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Good, man. We got a lot to talk about. You've been out here in Dallas for a while with your new gym, RJJ Boxing and Fitness. I was telling Tim Bradley about it next time he's in Dallas to come on by. But
All right.
you got a big show coming up Friday, June 12th, Legends Casino Hotel in Washington State, headlined by the rematch of Natasha Spence, Maricela Cornejo for the WBA International title. It's a rematch. Spence won the first fight, and it's sponsored by RJJ Saving the Kids. So before we get into the fight, man, you got this cool initiative going on um, about child abduction, a global charity, and you have a slogan: "One punch saves a child's life." Can you talk about what you're doing
Yes.
there and how you got into it?
Well, a friend of mine called and said, "Hey, what you think if we start doing something to help from childhood abductions? And nobody's doing anything. Nobody's making a big issue of it, but it's really a big situation." And so I looked into it and noticed the numbers. I was like, "Wow, this is crazy." People talk about all other kind of things that are going on, but we got this amount of kids being abducted yearly. Is that serious? I mean, we can stop everything else from happening. They go out their way to stop drug dealers. They go out their way to stop everything else. But you letting the kids get abducted and nobody's really doing nothing about it. So when he told me about it and brought me the numbers, I was astounded, and I was like, if there's anything I ever do to help a situation like that, count me in. So he shined more of a spotlight on it for me. So I was like, when I did that, I said, well, I think the world needs the same spotlight shine on it for them too, because a lot of us in this country don't realize how big that is.
Yeah, and you said we are giving boxing a new meaning.
Yes, giving boxing the meaning because now when you do stuff like this, you fight and you give money back to situations to help things like this. To this cause, it's like now you're doing something different, and now it gives you meaning, a reason to go out there and be fighting for your life because not only are you fighting for your life, you're fighting for somebody else's life in the process, and that's a beautiful thing.
Wow, Roy, so cool that you're doing this. You're working with Flatirons Church, a nonprofit organization,
Yeah,
and the website the letters easylife.com, and $35. Is that $35 for the pay-per-view and a
yeah, for the
donation?
pay per view, and parts of that go to the donation to help save the children. Yes,
Wow. Yeah, I wanted to talk about it, man, because you're always doing great things. I see you here in Dallas, and what you're doing with the kids here locally is amazing.
thank
Um,
you.
but you got a big fight on the card, man, a rematch between Cornejo and Spence. You like women's fighting, man. This is an
I do.
exciting
I
fight.
do. It's a beautiful thing, and the first fight was a great fight, and I think the second gonna be even better.
Now, the first fight, Spence won unanimous decision. Um, how do you think the second fight's going to go down?
I know I think it's gonna be a little bit rougher. Cornejo was nursing a baby at the time of the first fight, so that made it a little bit different. So I think this time it's gonna be a little different. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you got this heavyweight on the card you're working with here in Dallas, Darnell. Talk
Darnell,
talk about
yep.
that.
Darnell's a very good guy, very strong guy, former defensive D1 athlete, football player. Now transformed to boxing. We know how the football players do when they get the right mentality behind them about boxing. They usually do pretty good. And I think Darnell's gonna be one of those guys. I think he's gonna do pretty good as a former football player coming now to the boxing ring.
And talk about the rest of the card, Roy. You got a lot of local guys around Washington State. It's a banger card.
Yeah, you got a bang card. You got a lot of guys that want to prove they're the best in that area. So you got a lot of matchups that give guys an opportunity to fight for home turf, I guess, and getting to find out who the best of the area. And that's always going to make for the better fight because these guys want to fight to prove that they are the best in their area and put your thing on for the opponent.
Awesome, awesome, Roy. So listen, talking about heavyweights, we had a fight recently, Usyk against the kickboxer Rico.
So this short right here.
Little bit of a controversial ending, but you had said that David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, after his beatdown of Zerto, should go right to Usyk for a mega fight, kind of like what you did against John Ruiz. Based on what we saw from Usyk, I'm sure you still want that. And can he beat
Did that
Usyk?
did that not make me look like a genius?
Yeah,
Did that not make me look like a genius? Wasn't that the right fight? Imagine that would have been Dave Benavidez in that night. Usyk would have his first loss. Don't that make me look ingenious? Because that's the fight. That's the only fight for Dave Benavidez right now. Anybody else has been a waste of time. You got a chance to go up and try to make history again. You know what I'm saying? At doing something that you kind of want to do anyway. You
right.
be the first to beat him, and you made history. And you was the first one to beat him. Then you see this guy go there and do exactly what he did and show that it can be done. This is why I said he should do it because I knew this already, but nobody listens. I want to put him in B-ball for what? If B-ball beats him, he can't never go fight Usyk now. And B-ball ain't gonna fight Usyk. They from the same area. B-ball and Usyk fight kind of the same style. They're not gonna fight. Don't make sense. The B-ball don't believe he can go that big and beat Usyk. He know. You understand? But Benavidez come from about 230 to make 200. He can make the weight and he can fight. Come on, man. That was the perfect fight for him. I said it before and I said it again. It's just God always have a way of showing people that I know what I'm talking about. That just really triple proved me to be right about saying he should go right and fight him.
I heard you say it, and it didn't get a lot of play. And and like you said, you were right.
Look at it. Look at it. I bet he's getting a lot of play now. I bet people saying now, whoa, what if that was going to be this? Duh, I said it. They don't listen. See, this the problem. When you got somebody that God has blessed in this sport to give you the right kind of knowledge and you don't listen, that makes you seem like something wrong with you. I don't know if you hating or you just crazy, you don't like the person. I'm sorry that they feel that way, but I don't talk out my behind. I talk from knowledge and what God give me. You understand me? So I know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you when I said it, they should have immediately got on it right then because now he might have fight a rematch against this guy,
Hmm.
but that Usyk that fought that night, that Usyk don't beat David Benavidez. I'm sorry. That Usyk don't beat David Benavidez. Now, yeah, I ain't saying he can't beat David, but that particular Usyk that night right there, which is what I would have expected for him to be against Benavidez too, I don't think that Usyk beats Benavidez, so I don't know.
If they got in the next fight, if Usyk went right to David, who wins that fight?
I mean, it's a tough call because, like I said, we saw now that, I mean, don't get me wrong, Usyk ain't no garbage. Usyk is a great fighter, but this guy showed that if you disrupt things and make it not comfortable for Usyk, you can make a different style of fight. And I always knew that too, because those guys like Loma, the first time that guy made it uncomfortable for Loma in that third fight, he gave Loma the business. And that's why I said if I was ever going to fight Usyk, that's how I would have fought Usyk. I ain't going to box him. I'm going to make it ugly because they don't know how to fight like that. This guy, what he do? He made it ugly. They're not good at fighting like that. That pendulum style ain't for no ugly fight. That pendulum style is for a boxing match. That's what they used to growing up. But over here in pro boxing, you got to do it all. So, great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you called it, Roy. You called it, and we'll see what happens from here. But another big fight, I've heard you talk about it. Boots and Xander coming up. Now, you fought Felix Trinidad, Puerto Rican legend, at Madison Square Garden. It's going to be a big Puerto Rican crowd out there. What are your thoughts of the fight? And do you think Boots needs to be concerned about the crowd? Does the crowd come into play in an environment like that?
He don't. You don't need to worry about the crowd at all. The crowd ain't fighting. Only him and Xander are fighting. It's not like they're gonna have a gang against a gang. Nah, it's just you. You know what I'm saying? When I fought Trinidad, I love the Puerto Rican crowd, but I knew most of them gonna be cheering for Tito. That's cool. That's their man. What you expect them to do? So yeah, they're gonna be cheering for Xander. That's cool. That's their man. What you expect them to do? But they're not fighting you. You're only gonna fight him in that ring. You're gonna worry about fighting nobody but him. That's why they got a referee. They got judges. They got security. And you ain't fighting one person.
Can,
One
can,
person. So, and that's all you got to worry about.
can Xander beat Boots, Roy? He's super confident. He thinks he could do everything Boots can do.
It's yet to be seen. It's like I said, I'm not saying he can't because I've seen Xander, and Xander is pretty good. Um, Intangible wise, I don't know that he can do everything Boots can do because Boots does have a lot of intangibles that Boots can do. I've seen him do a few more because he's been around a bit longer than Xander. But Xander's got to know how to make an adjustment. So that being said, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know who will win the fight. The intangibles do lean toward Boots to me, but Xander's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I've seen him in action up close when I had Slava fight him, and he gave Slava a pretty good, he made a good adjustment on Slava and came back and beat Slava. But Slava did hurt him early, but you never can tell. So does Boots have that kind of power? I think so, yes. Does Boots have boxing skills? I know that for a fact. So I think it's going to be just a great fight, and I can't wait to see who wins.
Yeah, should be a hell of a fight. Another fight
Yep.
that's on the radar, Errol Spence, you saw him a little bit in Dallas. He's going against Tim Tszyu, a heavy-handed puncher. Was this a mistake from a comeback fight? I know there's no comeback fights in Errol's
Yeah.
vocabulary, but going against Tim Tszyu in Australia, what are your thoughts there?
I think it's a really good fight, too. The good thing about the fight is that they both are on the way back up. They're on the rebound. So he's a rebound guy fighting another rebound guy, which makes it kind of equal, but Tim Tszyu is a hard puncher. So we'll have to see what happens. I think Earl is used to dealing with hard punchers, but we'll see what happens.
And then real quick, Roy, and I'll get you out of here. You're one of the busiest guys in boxing. I know that. Um, Adrian Broner, I don't know if you've been following him on social, hanging out with Dean the Great, this influencer boxer guy,
Mm.
drinking a lot, doing these short videos and everything. I mean, I don't know if you've seen him, but what is your message to Adrian, who's talking about maybe coming back still?
Yeah, if you're gonna come back, I like to see him come back, but I want you to get it together before you come back. Get in shape, get off the stuff, get off the booze, just you gotta live that athlete life if you're gonna come back to boxing. You're not gonna come back to boxing, or if you're not gonna live the athletic lifestyle, then you probably should stay retired. But if you're gonna be willing to give all those things up and make sacrifices, you always was a great fighter. You got everything it takes to beat anybody you want to beat if you just focus and rededicate yourself. So rededicate yourself, come on back.
Great message, Roy. Great message. So we'll just wrap here though. Roy, you got this card on June 12th, and then I'm looking at the calendar in my backyard through your gym, and then you got to fight the day after here in Frisco.
No, that changed now. That moved to July 11th now. That
Okay,
moved to July
okay.
11th. So yeah. So thank God of that. But yeah, that moved to July 11th. So I'm very thankful for that.
I know you're Superman, Roy, but I was like, how is this even possible?
And well, I was glad to be Clark Kent and Superman that day.
Right, right. So June 12th, Legends Casino Hotel
Yep.
in Washington State, Cornejo, Spence,
Spent.
another
Yep.
Spence.
Yep.
Wrap it up for us, man. What are you expecting that night?
Gonna be a great fight, a great night. Can't wait for it to happen. And if you're not gonna come, at least support the cause and help save another kid's life. That's a big thing. We fighting to save the kids. Join our fight. It's a worldwide fight that we're going to eventually have. And it's an epidemic to me that's going on because too many kids are being abducted and not reclaimed. That's crazy. That's evil people doing it. And it needs to be stopped, but it definitely needs to be addressed, starting in this country.
Wow, Roy. And let me give the website again. The capital E, capital Z, life.com, oneeasylife.com, working with Flatirons Church. $35 for the pay-per-view. Part of that goes to the Flatirons Church, a nonprofit organization that you're a part of. And with your name on it, Roy, I'm sure it's going to do well. Great cause. And I'll see you back here in Dallas soon.
Hi, brother. Good to see you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Roy.